It seems insurmountable. It seems like this case cannot be settled.
Blake Lively's truth is finally out. Not just manipulating the media, but allegedly trying to influence judges. This could turn into one of Hollywood's biggest scandals yet. The woman once seen as Hollywood's perfect wife is now being exposed for who she really is. And it's not just Ryan Reynolds. Blake herself is crossing every possible line to protect her image. Media manipulation is one thing, but attempting to control the court and judiciary system, that level of corruption is no joke.
If they find that she just was dishonest and lied on one single point of evidence in this case, in her testimony, the jury instruction says that they are allowed to discount her entire testimony.
If this is true, then Blake Lively didn't just stop at media manipulation, she allegedly tried to twist the legal system in her favor as well. Using tactics to suppress damning evidence is something only done when there's something massive to hide. Blake has always portrayed herself as a strong, independent, and classy celebrity, but the revelations coming to light now are completely at odds with that image. Getting labeled as someone playing the fake victim can be a devastating blow for any celebrity, especially when it involves allegations of manipulating the legal system. If these accusations are proven, it won't just be Blake's career on the line. Her entire credibility could be permanently destroyed.
Juries don't like liars. Trials are about credibility.
With the truth unraveling, one thing is clear. Blake Lively's downfall seems inevitable. People were already questioning her stiff acting and career misfires, like the rhythm section. But now, with legal drama and scandals piling up, her reputation has taken an even greater hit. In Hollywood, image is everything. When a celebrity's name starts getting linked to corruption, bribery, and manipulation, salvaging their career becomes nearly impossible. It looks like Blake hasn't just earned the label of a failed actress. She might just go down as one of Hollywood's biggest disaster stories.
So her testimony is super important in this case. And if you can show the jury that she's lied, juries don't like liars.
Now, this isn't just about poor film choices. This has turned into a full-blown case of corruption and favoritism. Hollywood stars often use their fame and influence to escape accountability, but Blake played this game so recklessly that even the judge had to intervene and expose the truth. When a celebrity's name gets tangled in court scandals and their public image starts crumbling, it's a clear sign that their career is about to take a serious hit. This isn't just a matter of reputation anymore. It's about their future projects, endorsements, and standing in Hollywood, all of which are now hanging by a thread.
Her testimony won't even count. And that is that's a harsh reality, because if the jury chooses not to listen to anything she has to say, she's the best witness in this.
Blake Lively's case against Justin Baldoni has turned into an absolute spectacle. But now, it's no longer just about legal drama. Shocking new allegations suggest that Blake and her team may have attempted to bribe officials and pressure the judge into suppressing evidence. And when you hear the lengths she allegedly went to in order to protect her public image, you might start wondering, will she ever have the courage to face the public again? Judge Lyman, who has seen through the reality of this case, has made it clear that this is less of a legitimate lawsuit and more of a battleground for PR teams. In legal terms, that's basically a way of saying this entire situation is nothing more than another overblown Hollywood spectacle. Just think, things must have spiraled so far out of control that a judge had to step in and call it out as a circus.
Trials are about the truth, and juries want the truth. And if you lie to them, they will hold it against you.
But if we look back at the original story, when Blake first filed the case against Baldoni, she portrayed herself as an innocent victim, almost like a scripted Hollywood drama. She repeatedly claimed to have solid evidence, undeniable proof, and insisted that Baldoni was the real culprit. But as the case progressed, the truth that started to emerge was something entirely different.
And that's why you think, like you mentioned before, that you think this video is the most damning evidence that Baldoni has so far.
I think so. And it's better than worse.
But then everything flipped. Blake's lies were exposed. Now, a responsible person would have admitted their mistake. But what did Blake do? She rewrote the entire story, like a filmmaker desperately adding new scenes to turn a flop movie into a hit. The details she originally claimed as facts suddenly had new twists. More drama was injected into the narrative. And before anyone could process it, a brand new lawsuit appeared, one that looked less like a legal document and more like a poorly written script.
Number two, the SH has nothing to do with taking over the movie, even though she doesn't deny that she took over the movie. Of course, it'd be probably impossible to do that.
This case is 180 pages long. Just think about that. Typically, lawsuits like this are around 20 to 25 pages, but Blake's team stretched it out like a never-ending soap opera, with a new twist in every episode. When you don't have real evidence, what do? You pad the case with unnecessary fluff, making it so long and convoluted that people lose sight of the actual truth. This wasn't a lawsuit. It was a carefully orchestrated media stunt. If you really break it down, most of the accusations are just rumors dressed up as legal claims.
So I was able to read the amended complaint, which, by the way, it's very abnormal. It's almost 180 pages, 400 and some odd paragraphs. Complaints are not normally that long, but this one has to be for public consumption.
Her entire intention was to feed the public a scripted narrative, one so compelling that people would take her side before even questioning the facts. But the truth she tried to bury struck like lightning, exposing everything. And her so-called key evidence? Just a recording of a dance scene. She presented it as if it were some earth-shattering, undeniable proof that would validate every single one of her claims.
So it kind of makes them look like they're trying to take that video, now that it's out, and kind of spin it in a different direction.
She tried to convince the world that she had been forced into a distressing situation, painting herself as a victim of coercion. But when the unedited, raw footage surfaced, the reality was entirely different. She was willingly participating, smiling, fully engaged, and nowhere did she appear uncomfortable or pressured.
Lively had changed some stuff up in her amended complaint. Now she is describing that dancing scene very differently than she did in her first.
Legal experts immediately dismissed her claims. Her entire scheme had been exposed, and the panic within her PR team was becoming increasingly obvious. This was the turning point, the moment when the real storm began to rise, and no amount of damage control could save her now.
Blake Lively made, and she lied in their minds about what occurred during that dancing scene because she wasn't aware that there was audio that would maybe explain and give some context to what was happening there. So, of course, she changes her in her amended complaint. She changes the view of it a little bit.
Then, as if being caught in one lie wasn't enough, she changed her story yet again. At first, she claimed she was forced into an uncomfortable scene. But the moment the leaked video proved she was completely calm and willing, she immediately came up with a new accusation, now saying that Baldoni was not in character and that she was pressured into pretending she liked him.
Actually, what they did is they said, well, yes, all of that happened, but when Baldoni was in that scene dancing, he wasn't in character, and she was being forced to act as though she loved him.
Just think about how ridiculous this sounds. Filing a lawsuit over acting in a movie, which is literally your profession. If this sets a precedent, what's next? Actors suing directors because they didn't enjoy filming a scene with their co-star? I was forced to act like I was in love with someone. This is oppression. No, ma'am. That's called doing your job.
So rather than saying that these horrible things happen, now they're saying, well, no, yeah, but she didn't want that, and he wasn't really in character, and it wasn't within the context of what it should have been. So they're trying to skew it kind of a different way.
At this point, even legal analysts were exhausted by the circus. Imagine how baseless a case has to be when even lawyers struggle to keep a straight face while discussing it. One legal expert explained that if you give false testimony in court, the judge can instruct the jury to disregard everything you've said, meaning one proven lie and your entire story falls apart.
For the smear campaign designed by Baldoni's team was intended to derail the SH claims that Lively brought later in time, which seems a little odd to me.
Blake Lively built her entire case on a foundation of lies. If this lawsuit actually goes to trial, things could get really bad for her.
Her bad press came in early August, and yet the complaint to the CRD didn't happen till December 20th.
This is where things got even more tangled. Where most people would admit their mistake and step back, Blake took an even more extreme step. With no argument left and no truth to rely on, she saw only one option: trying to bend the system in her favor.
Blake Lively's PR firm begging to be let go of the case. I think actually they may have the worst messages of all.
Blake's legal team pulled a new trick. They demanded an Shapbend attorney's eyes only bombardim protection order. What does that mean? It means certain key documents would be visible only easier to the lawyers. Not even Blake or Baldoni could see them. And that raises a serious question. Why? This kind of move only happens when there's something huge to hide. Then, an insider dropped a bombshell. There were allegedly 100 million reasons behind this secrecy. A number that big, that's not just some minor issue. It reeks of bribery. But Judge Lyman saw right through it. Without hesitation, he shot it down. Nice try, but this won't work here. He made it crystal clear. The court isn't here to protect a celebrity's reputation. It's here for the truth. No matter how much Blake tries to twist the narrative, the truth will come out.